How y'all doing? Today I am so excited to be back talking to you guys. And if this is your first time coming onto my channel, how are you? Thank you for watching this video, seeing what I'm about. If you are a returning friend, hey friend. My name is Whitney. I'm creative. I'm an author. I'm a singer, songwriter. I'm a caretaker. I am a home chef. I am everything that I want to be. I'm just creative, and I love to do things that make me happy and encourage people. So thank you so much for tuning in. Today we are going to talk about boundaries. And unfortunately, boundaries is like not so much a hard topic, but it's something that is more easily understood in my adulthood than it was for me growing up. So, boundaries in terms of relationships, boundaries in terms of what you like versus what you don't, what others like versus what they don't like, and how those two either get along or don't get along. So, growing up, kind of like many people, your boundaries depended on how you were raised. So for me, I was raised by a single mother, and she was very particular about how she liked things. So I knew her boundaries and didn't even realize that I knew her boundaries, but I knew what made her mad. I knew what made her sad, all the different ticks. And she also knew mine, right? So, but of course, in my childhood, I did not know that they were boundaries so much, things that bothered me. So the way that I handled things was, if I didn't like something, I would cry. That was the emotion across the board. That was the reaction. If you made me upset, I'm going to cry. If I am angry, I'm going to burst into tears, and you will never know. It was just that innate response. And growing up, it was kind of hard for me with friends, because it's like, they have boundaries, but I'm not thinking about the fact that they have boundaries, because I didn't even know I had boundaries, weirdly. So I have, several friends, and, I'm like this bubbly person, and I'm like, oh yeah, huggy, kiss, this is, and I'm like the bubbly friend. I want to be like, we are family, kumbaya moment, because it's just, it feels nice for me, because that's just my love language, I guess. And this, one of my friends was like, yo, cool it, because I can't take it. And for me, as a kid growing up and trying to figure things out, I'm like, what is wrong with you? This is nice things. Why are you so upset? What is going on? But it took a minute for me to get it. Everybody loves differently. Everybody is different in terms of their love language. Everybody is different in terms of what makes them tick or makes them happy or causes them to feel certain ways, because as you're growing up, you're going through different things, and your mind creates these schemas. So it took me several years, as she will tell you, it took me several years to understand people's boundaries, because I didn't really grow up having them for myself and standing up for my own boundaries. But in my adulthood, it has become a constant journey to really, really pinpoint what things are good for me and what things are not, in terms of boundaries with relation to people. So one of the biggest things for me is cursing. I hate it. I don't like it, because for me it's the most disrespectful thing that you can do towards a person. Not saying that I haven't done it, because there are moments when the Holy Ghost in me, sometimes I push it aside. And I'm working on that. But it's just little things that make me uncomfortable. And it has taken several years for me to be able to say, hey, that's not comfortable for me, because, or not even just because, I don't like that. Please don't do that. I can think of actually a relationship with someone in my family who I love so much. And I love all my family, but me and this person, I love them a lot. And for some reason, we bump heads all the time. Not because we're fighting or anything, but we just have a difference. Like, we love kind of the same, but sometimes when there's an emotion that they feel, they won't express it, and then I don't know, and then there's an emotion that I feel and I'm not going to express it because I don't want to make things weird. Like, it's just those communication things, and really when we come back together, it's kind of like, oh, that was just misunderstanding. So for me, it's kind of the lesson that everybody's boundaries are different. That's really the lesson. And unfortunately, it takes time. It takes time and it takes patience to understand the different quirks and ticks of people. Like, I love to hug. I love being a person with people, which is a challenge at this current time. But I just, love the friendly, like, nice things. But I also have found that I also value being by myself. I love it. Like, there are moments where I'm just like, nice to have you over. When are you leaving? Like, and that's okay. It's not a bad thing, because you just have to know yourself, and that's a part of loving yourself. You have to know yourself and what your boundaries are. So I guess I call myself, an omnivert, they call it. So I am very extroverted, and I can hang out with people, and I love to have people over, and to host and do different things. But there's like a time where I'm just like, can we separate now? Or, and I feel like I'm going to have to help myself before I get married, because my husband may be concerned with that, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But that's another thing. Like, it's just those things that you have to take time to understand and accept about people. Like I said, as I got old, as I've gotten older and really understood others, I've actually really had to dive into my own, and it's such a great process to see, like, how my love language has changed and how my interactions with people have changed because of the fact that I've been able to, take the time to assess, and they've been patient enough with me, for both of us to really assess and see what works for us. And I can say it has made a world of difference with how I communicate with people. I have not really always been in the position where I've been extremely social. I was very much a homebody just because of the structure of my family, and just some different things in my life. But, as I've gotten older and I've been able to branch out and living on my own and doing different stuff, it's like I've had the opportunity to see where I am different in communication from others who have actually had those social situations where it was kind of like normal upbringing and stuff like that. I've seen the differences and stuff and it's super interesting to analyze, especially for an overthinker like myself. But I know that in taking the time to understand who I am and what my boundaries are, and what I love and how I love, and why, the reasons behind things, has caused me not only to love myself more. Look how that came right back around. Not only help me to love myself more, but also help me to love others better, and just be okay with who they are. I know sometimes it's kind of like, and I've gone through this, growing up, is that you kind of feel not good enough, or like you've done something wrong when people don't kind of accept the way you love. But it's really coming to the point, it kind of takes you getting to the point where you're like, okay, they like this, so I'll do this way for them because they're different. It doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. It just means that you and that person, or you and people, or you're just a different person than everyone else. Everyone has their differences, and that's great. I talked about this before, but being different is dope. Like, who wants to be the same? I had a phase where all I knew as, for social social interactions was to follow what my friends did. And I was in a very bad place in terms of my self-esteem and in terms of interaction. I have a socially awkward thing about me that, thank God, is getting better with being social with people. But, and a whole lot of prayer. But, yeah, it's just like the interactions that I've had with people are just getting better, and I'm so encouraged that I wanted to just share it with you. It'll help you analyzing these things and getting these boundaries together, understanding people's boundaries and accepting who they are, will help you to have a more sane, not sane, but more comfortable communications and relationships with people. And it's a journey. So whatever it takes for you to get there, do that. It's going to be hard. Now, I will say this. Sometimes you can understand people's boundaries, you can respect them, you can accept it, and they won't reciprocate that. So expect it. I want to be fair. Not everybody is going to take the time to try to understand who you are. That's just not how every person is, unfortunately. So understand that if you are invested and you are taking the time to understand who someone is because you care that much, it may not be reciprocated, and that's okay too. Because again, everybody is different. And at the end of the day, the only person that has to love you as much as you love you is God. And he does. So, yeah. So there's that. But that's my soapbox for the day. And I am so encouraged that I just wanted to share this with you guys. As I always say, remember to love God because he is the source of real love. Remember to love yourself and appreciate who God created you to be. And remember to love other people because that is the way that the world goes around. I love you. Bye.